kitchen. E la prima cosa che davvero fare è prendere il faddale. So the first thing that we need to do is to put on the faddale. And what I have said in Italian is good morning, I'm Elena Jones, welcome to my kitchen. And the first thing that we need to do to start this entire beer chicken with rice cauliflower, yes, is to put on the faddale, is to put on the apron. And I have chosen a beautiful faddale. It is full of dogs. Look at all the different dogs. They're all beautiful. They all know that they are dogs and they don't have to fight to see what they are. Like, we don't have to fight, okay? We can all get along nicely. All right, what I have here is, I am heating up right now in a non-stick pan 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 1 tablespoon of grapeseed oil, and that's what's happening over here. Earlier, I took my cauliflower and I did cut it in some pieces. I also riced some pieces. Sometimes I like to have that crunch. I'm also going to be utilizing what I have here is I have a Indian Pale Ale from Cigar City Brewing. Hello, Cigar City Brewing. I love their beer, so I'm going to have it. This is an IPA beer, a whole entire can of beer. I also, what I've done here is I have taken a chicken breast and I have sliced it thin, and I'm not going to pound it. I just washed it so it's nice and wet, because I'm going to tell you what I'm going to be drenching it in and what we are going to be doing. And what I have here is an entire breast that I thinly sliced. And that's, again, this is what I have here, that it's wet because I washed it and I just want it to be wet. Okay, so I'm not going to put this in any eggs or anything. It's just going to go into this wonderfulness that I'm about ready to tell you. So what I have here is that I have some wheat flour, and what I am using, guys, is I am using a keto wheat flour. It's a blend. Now, I don't get paid to tell you about it. They're not giving it to me for free. I do want to thank Dario Rodriguez, though, for being gracious, for providing it from Life and Food Superstores in Ellenton, Florida. Thank you so much. And that's what I have here. I have a good 2 cups of keto wheat flour. That's what I have here. If you don't have a wheat flour, a regular flour will do ya. Also, what I have here is I have added a half a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of black pepper, and then what I have here, also in here, is I have added a teaspoon of nutmeg that is also in this concussion. And then what I want to do here is that I want to mix it all together, because I am going to, what I'm going to do first, yes, is that I am going to lightly brown my chicken. Then I'm going to take it out and I'm going to put it in a bowl, and then I'll tell you what we're going to do from there, okay? So what I want to do right now is that I want to take my chicken. I just want to, now let me tell you how you can tell if the oil is ready. You can take a little bit of the flour, and if you drop it in there, and if it starts to bubble, it's ready. If it doesn't bubble, it's not ready. So mine is not ready, which is fine. And then I'm going to show you the toppings that we're going to be using. Yes, there's going to be a topping over this marvelous chicken. So then what I want to do now is I want to come in here, is I want to put these little guys, and I just want to drench. Just drench very lightly, like so. See that? Make sure that this little arm right here, it's opened up. And the beer is, oh, I love making this recipe, and it's, you know, and especially when it's such lovely beer. So I'm just going to gently, I am going to put that down. It's ready. I am going to grab another piece, because while this is cooking, I am going to show you the topping. That is how quick this is going to go, guys. So I'm not looking for a lot of flour. I'm just looking for enough to cover it, because that's going to make a beautiful sauce, yes, later. So I'm going to put that in there like so. And it's my husband and I, and actually we will have this for lunch, and then it'll carry into dinner. So, you know, you could do this ahead of time, and you can heat it up later, and that's what we are going to do, because, you know, after all, we both work. Even though I bring you this beautiful deliciousness, this is my passion, cooking. So that takes care of that. That's almost finished with the first one. And you see, it goes really, really quick. Very easy transaction, guys. Very, very easy. So now I am done with this. I'm going to put that on the side. Let me get the paper out of that. I like to put the paper towel just in case of anything, but nothing got on here. Because I'm going to continue to use my board that I am going to be utilizing to do some chopping. That I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. Alrighty, so now this guy, I think my first guy is ready for me to turn over. Oh yes, it's looking marvelous. Beautiful. Yes, yes, yes. So I'm going to get this out because this is almost ready for me to take out. Because, you know, when you cut them thin, now people ask me, how do I do that? I take my breast of chicken, I put my hand over the breast of chicken, I take a very sharp knife, be careful, and then I run it through in between my hands. Now, I don't suggest you do that. If you've never done it before, ask your butcher to do that. So then what I'm going to do now is I'm not even going to let these guys, okay, I'm not going to let these guys get a lot of, I don't want these guys to brown too much. I just want these guys to just start browning, and that's exactly what it's doing. So now that you have them browned, like so, and you don't have to put them in paper towel or anything like that. These are going to be finished cooking, okay, finished cooking, guys. By the time we are done, everything should come together. Now the wonderful flour is absorbing into the oil. All right, now I am done with all of this, finito. And I'm just going to rinse real quick my prawns, because I do want to use them again. And make sure you dry them very well, because water and oil does not mix. Okay, so now that we have that going on, I'm going to start working on my topping. I'm just going to clear the decks a little bit. There's just a tiny little bit of flour that got on here. I'm not worried about it. All right, what I have here is, remember the can of beer? Haven't done anything with that yet. We still have it on the side. We have to keep that on the side. Make sure that you keep a good eye on your wonderful chickens that are doing their thing. What I have here, I'm going to show you the topping, guys. These are my Roma tomatoes that I grow out of my own. Look how beautiful they are. I grow them out of my, oops, I dropped one. I grow these out of my garden. So that's what I have here. I have 4 of them. Again, depending on the size of your familia. Familia in Italian means family. So now I am going to turn these guys over because, you know, it's that time. Yes, 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 because we don't, we just want to brown them nicey-nicey. Nicey-nicey. I come up with all kinds of my own words, nicey-nicey. All right, in the meantime, get yourself a nice little bowl. What I have here is that I took a cucumber, I peeled the cucumber and I sliced the cucumber, and that's going to go right in there into that one little bowl, because I don't feel like doing a lot of dishes today. And you know what? You're allowed to. You're allowed to, okay? So then what I want to do is I'm going to do my cherry tomatoes. I have a few that I needed to use up. Why not? I am going to cut them in 4s. Oh, yes, baby, baby. Yes, yes, yes. Boy, I'm telling you, this is going to be, I'm really getting into, topping things, it just gives such a wonderful flavor. So then I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to take my little guy over here. Oh, look how beautiful my little, and I'm going to do the same thing to my wonderful Roma tomatoes. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. I'm still keeping an eye. Now I am going to remove this part right here. I'm just going to put them right on top of each other because I'm not going to be very concerned about any of it. All right, so then what I have here now that I have these done, I have my cauliflower, and now my cauliflower, I'm just going to add it right into that mixture that we just, you know, that oil. Remember that we mixed the olive oil with the grapeseed oil. And I'm going to continue to do my tomatoes while that is doing its thing. Because what I wanted to do is I wanted to just get into that yumminess, into this, oh, you know what I forgot? Aspetta. Aspetta in Italy means to wait. I am going to grab one of these guys so I can mix this up because now I am kind of sauteing. Yes, I am sauteing with all the bits that was in here, with all those bits. I am sauteing this. Yes, I'm going to just saute that. I'm going to let that hang out there while it's doing its thing. I have not added my chicken yet. Remember, in here we have the cucumber and the tomatoes. And I am going to do one more tomato. I'm going to save my other tomato because I want to use that probably for garnish. You know how I like to make things pretty. I like to make things pretty. So then what I have here is I have a quarter of a red pepper that I just want to also, I'm going to slice, but I'm also going to chop. You know, it doesn't have to be super, you know, you want to be able to bite into it. And that's going to go right in here like so. Let me grab this other guy that he just kind of took off like a pepper would do. And then what I have here is I have some Kalamata olives. How much? Probably about a quarter cup. Again, depending on the size of your family. If you don't like Kalamata olives, I would highly suggest that you guys add black olives if you like black olives. But Kalamata olives has that punch that I'm really looking forward to. That is, you know, the acid that I'm looking for in this dish because this is going to be the topping. Yes, the topping to everything. So then now, even though I have a little bit of that juice, I'm just going to add it right on top of that. Okay, problemo, no problemo. There is no problem. We have no problems today. No, no, no. No problems. All right, there's enough problems in the world. All right, so then what I have here is 2 tablespoons of olive oil right in here. Let me grab this, make sure that I get my flour out of this because sometimes, you know, flour gets in places. My cauliflower is coming nicely. It's also doing its browning. It's looking beautiful. And as you can see, we have not salted and peppered any of that. Now, I have my 2 tablespoons of olive oil here. I have a little bowl over here. And then what I have here is I have a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of black pepper, and I also have this new thing that I found that is called Italian Street Fare. It's a spice blend. It's a spice blend. And what I'm going to do with this spice blend, and if you don't have the spice blend and you have an Italian blend, then you're going to come in here and you're just going to just freshly, you know, 3 or 4 little kind of, you know, go around it. And that's what's going to give the nice flavor to that. In the meantime, I do have a teaspoon of that in here that I'm just going to mix with my fingers. I'm just going to add it to that olive oil. Actually, I could use this and I won't even have to dirty any more dishes. There we go. And then I got my little fork right here. Look at this. Yes, and what this is going to do, guys, this is all going to go right in here, just like that. And that's what's going to season the topping. But I'm not done. I'm not done yet. No, 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 I'm not done yet. Okay, so then now, I'm going to bring my chicken. I'm going to move my cauliflower out of the way, you know, making like a well, because I'm getting ready for my beer to make its entrance. Yes, yes, yes. Oops! This guy, there we go. He didn't make it. And I'm not going to be worried about it. There's too many other things to be worried about it because we're going to eat this as soon as we are done because this is the topping to everything. All right, so then now that I have my chickens all nestled in their beds, oh my goodness, I get so excited. Now I'm going to gently, without getting it all over me, I'm going to open my beer. Woo, there goes the beer. And I am just going to start pouring the beer. Look at that. You see that? I am pouring the beer. There we are. Yes, we are. We are pouring the beer. And what's going to happen, guys, this beer is going to marry with everybody. It's going to give this deliciousness. And not only that, it's going to make a beautiful gravy, a beer gravy. Yes, yes, yes. And it already has, you know, the delicious Italian, herbs. In my case, is that Italian street fare. You know, and the thing is when I go away, no matter where I go, guys, I always go and find something that has to do with foods in order for me to create new dishes. And that's why I love going to different restaurants. And when I go to different restaurants, I don't order dinner. I order appetizers. That way it continues to inspire me. I have over 250 videos in 1 year. Because remember, we started this whole thing with COVID, when COVID hit. All right, I am going to go get the lid because I forgot. Because you know what? It's okay to forget. Aspetta. And did I get the wrong lid? Yes, I did. You know, it's one of those things. It's one of those things. Sometimes, you know, you feel like a nut and sometimes you don't. And, you know, and it's okay, guys. It's okay to laugh at yourself. So I just want to cover this guy up. I got the right lid. You know what? It's okay. You know this juiciness from earlier, from the chicken, I am all going to add it all in here. All in there. Look at that. Look at that. Put it all in there. Why not? Why not? Because all of this will come back into this. And I'm not going to be, all right, you know what? I'll wash it real quick. I did not get another one. I'm sorry, because I didn't feel like it. So I'm just going to go ahead and give this a quick rinse. I know we usually don't do this in cooking shows, but then again, this is a special cooking show. And it's okay. This is one of those days that, you know what? It is called going with the flow. And you know, in life, it's not sometimes what we want it to be. And we have to go with the flow. And when we don't go with the flow, it's where all the stress comes out. Because we want to control everything. I used to be one of those people. Now I don't want to control anything. I'm 64 years old. I'm getting too old for that. All right, now I have just turned my board over. What I have here is something that a lot of you don't really care for, but I care for. I have a couple of pieces of kale that I also want to implement into this deliciousness that I have here. I have my knife right here that I'm just going to wipe. I have this wonderfulness that is going on right here. It's doing its thing. I'm going to check. Right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check for flavor. Oh, wow. It's got a bite. But I also noticed that it's going to need a pinch of salt. So I have a pinch of salt, believe it or not, right here that I am just going to add. Because I don't like to salt a lot. It retains water. Read about it. So now I am going to have my lid that is pretty hot. I'm going to move it out of the way. Because what I want is I want it to start evaporating. Everything to start evaporating. And it's doing its, the chicken is almost finished. It's still doing its thing. It's boiling. It's supposed to do what it's doing. All right, let me get that out of the way so you guys don't have to look at that. All right, so then that I have, remember what we had all over here, we mixed, we put the olives, the tomatoes, and the wonderful, 2 pieces of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Oh yes, look at this beautifulness. Look at this beautifulness. It makes such a beautiful dish. All right, so then what I have here, it's my kale. I'm just going to roll my kale, and I just want to kind of, chop it up. Chop it up. I want this to be on the bottom. Yes, on the bottom of everything. I want to talk to you a little bit about the benefits of cauliflower while this is doing its thing. One thing about cauliflower, y'all, is it's high in fiber, high in vitamin B's, and right now we really need the vitamin B's. It's full of antioxidants. It's considered a superfood that is full of vitamin C. And right now, we're talking a lot about COVID and a lot of people getting COVID. Those that have been vaccinated, those that have not been vaccinated. It is important, your health. Your health is your responsibility. Not the doctors, not your parents. It's your responsibility to take care of yourself. Especially when, once you become a young person, after you leave home. So what I want to do is I want to put the kale on the bottom. I want to sprinkle it. I want to sprinkle it just like that. Just like that. All right, now I'm going to have a little bit that is left on the side right there. I'm also going to take my remember the little tomato that I had? I am going to slice this guy. Oh yes, because even though we have all that topping, we are going to make more topping. Hey, why not, right? If you have it, and trust me, my tomatoes, this is August. And here in Florida, you don't grow tomatoes in August, but my tomatoes are all organic and they're still growing. So who am I to tell them they cannot grow? So let them grow, right? And I keep getting more tomatoes. All right, so now, oh man, this looks really good. This looks so good. Oh my stars. And now the gravy's become the gravy. Let me taste again. Oh, it's perfect. Now the beer has cooked into all of that, has tenderized the chicken, has got everybody happy, happy, happy. So then what I want to do is I want to take my chicken and I want to start putting it on my plate like so. Oh yes. Oh, it looks delicious. It looks beautiful. It looks just the way I wanted it to look. Oh, it's marvelous. Yes, yes, yes. And then what I want to do here, while this is still hot, is I want to put some of the tomatoes around the plate to make it even more prettier. Like the Italian color, the red, the white and the green, And then what I want to do here, I'm just going to mix this. And with the same one, why not? I am going to go ahead and grab my, oh yes, look at this wonderful cauliflower that I am just adding on the top. Yes, 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 right on the top with all this beautiful gravy. Oh, it's the beer gravy. I call it the beer gravy. It is marvelous, delicious. I'm going to turn this off now because I want to come in here. And then I want to bring this beautiful gravy right on top. Oh yes, baby, baby, baby. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. Now I want to bring this, and I want to bring this toppings right on top of that. Put this right on top of that. And let me tell you, you have a feast here. A wonderful, beautiful feast. I am going to mountain high. I am going to come back with my beautiful kale, and I am just going to drizzle that over that. because you know kale is needed. It just goes with all this deliciousness, especially with the IPA beer. And then what you guys have done, are you ready to see your beer chicken with rice cauliflower? Are you ready? Let me show it to you. Look how beautiful this beer chicken with rice cauliflower is. I want to thank my wonderful sponsors, Cola Harris with FARMASI. I want to thank Stephen Billy with Billy Fishing and Charters. I want to thank Soul Angel with Color Street. And I want to thank Dario Rodriguez, and thank you for joining me.